The next card I read for both reconciliation and anybody who's single, this is your distant past, and you have the Two of Swords. And this is the distant past, you know, could be years, could be 10 years, it could be childhood. The Two of Swords comes down to, at some point you had to make a decision. You had to make choices. And the choices you made, you're either looking back on them this month. Part of the reason we bring the distant past up is because there are certain things that you want to remember and bring from past relationships that are positive. So kind of harness that, right? And then other times there's certain things you need to let go of, but you'll never forget them. And that keeps you from, you know, resorting back to those same behaviors. Not all the time, but, you know, it's good to remember things you don't want so you know what to avoid. And the Two is saying that at some point you had choices, you made decisions, and some of you were either going back going, man, you know, I don't know if I made the right choice on this as far as a partner, or maybe you're thinking about somebody that you'd like to maybe, you know, check up on and see how they're doing. You know, maybe this is somebody that you cared about a lot and you made a decision and it didn't go well. Some of you also, you know, have dated and had relationships and it's become a stalemate on a regular basis. And so some of you are kind of like, okay, I don't want that. You know, I think things are going well, or we start dating or whatever. And it's almost like a lot of you are feeling like, I get to a point where I'm dating, right? And I'm satisfied and I'm happy. And then it never, like, we don't get over that bump. Like, we don't go any further, or it's just dating, or it's just, you know, a friendship, or it becomes, you know, stagnant. There's some sort of stalemate here that you're kind of trying to avoid for whatever's coming into your future. And I think, you know, before you made decisions that maybe were based on, it was almost like a duality, like, you know, you felt like you were one person, and then you felt like you were another person, like you couldn't figure out who you were. And now you're kind of coming into your own, you know, going, okay, now I know what I want. Now I know, you know, it's like almost like you were like, do I want to get serious? Do I not want to get serious? Do I want to get married? Do I not want to get married? Do I want, you know, kids? Do I not want to have kids? And there are all these choices, and you kind of feel like you never quite made the right one, or that it just never worked out. And really, again, like, I get that feeling. It's just like, you're like, gosh, I dated good people and I met decent people and I thought we were really going somewhere, and it fizzled out. Nothing happened. And your like mindset is that you're not going to do that, but you're also being very cautious about it. And the next card you have is your recent past. So the past few weeks, past month or two, and you have the Six of Wands. So somewhere here, if you're single, you've had some sort of victory. So now I'm thinking more of you have met one or two people, and you're kind of feeling victorious in the dating life. Again, you're showing up like crazy all over because, you know, again, another fire sign, another fire card. The Six of Wands is about achieving something. Now, this could be achieving something in life. I mean, your greatest achievement right now, Sagittarius, being single, could be that you're figuring out that you actually want to meet somebody. For a lot of you, you've wanted to be single, or you haven't wanted to deal with the dating. And your greatest achievement now could be realizing, hey, I'm freaking awesome and I'm a good catch, and there's got to be somebody awesome out there for me. So, you know, it's almost like, I know that sounds weird, but it's almost like, and because you're showing up here in positive cards, this is kind of like saying that you're finally showing up in your own life, in your own headspace. Like, you're finally giving yourself the credit where credit is due. And so the past few weeks or past month or two, you're kind of saying, hey, I have my stuff together. I may not be perfect. My finances may not be perfect. I may not have the best credit. But I'm a pretty good catch. Like, I've got stuff to offer here, and I'm a pretty good person. And if you're single, you're bringing that to the table. So you're kind of feeling like, hey, I can finally take the next step. And maybe some of the reasons you've had so many choices or stalemates is because you're always working on the next big thing. You're always working on a career. You needed help with money, or, you know, you're fixing your credit, or you wanted to buy your own place. And now it's like you're at that point where you're kind of like, okay, some sort of success, maybe in your finances, maybe in your job, maybe in, you know, family, just in general. Maybe, you know, there was turmoil, or maybe you had exes or things to work out and that kind of stuff, parent time and whatnot. And now you're kind of like, okay, things are rolling in the direction to where I could date and be pretty successful without having too much crap get mixed up in the middle. If you're looking to reconcile, this is saying that one of you is being very prideful. Either you're being very prideful or they're being very prideful. So again, I don't feel like there's been contact made, but if there has been, it hasn't been the most positive. And if there hasn't been, one of you or both of you is saying, it was your fault. You got to contact me. And literally that's what this card is saying. The past few weeks, maybe you've been thinking about them. They've been thinking about you. Maybe you haven't thought about them in a while. It could be somebody that you haven't dated in a while, but you still had the connection. Or it could be somebody you broke up with 2 or 3 weeks ago and you don't want to call them and they don't want to call you. There's some sort of stubbornness. One of you is going, like, I've been hurt and my pride's been hurt and I'm not going to make the move. And, it could be both of you. Somebody will have to make the next move if you're planning on getting together. And I know I'm going to get emails and messages and people are going to be like, well, it's all their fault or, whatever. But again, you're coming in defense mode, but you're also trying to get your priorities straight, which means work on yourself and get past, it looks like you're coming into the month, getting past a lot of the drama of it. So if you guys can just come together and have a conversation, you might find out it doesn't have to be that major. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months into the end of the year, goodness, Sagittarius, you were on fire. Like literally you were all over your read. You've got another wand here that represents you. And this is the 8 of Wands. And you're kind of going, in like order. Well, not order in the spread, but you've got 6, 7, 8. We're just looking for 9 and then we hit 10. So you've got the 8 of Wands here. And the 8 of Wands is quick movement. So immediately this tells me if you're single that you're going to meet somebody and it's going to be quick. Like it's going to be like right out of the gate. You've got your priorities straight. It could be somebody that you're not quite sure on. So you're going to spend a little more time getting to know because and then all of a sudden it turns from kind of an illusional fear to dreaming. And you're going to feel like the choices aren't that hard because you've overcome stuff already. It's almost like you've overcome your own demons. You've overcome things that you needed to work on personally or that you needed to take care of financially or that you needed to take care of career-wise. Whatever it is, you're coming in going, hey, I've got this. I'm finally like figuring stuff out. I'm figuring out what works for me and that's what it comes down to, right? Sagittarius, if it doesn't work for you, it could work for 300 people. That job could work for 300 people. That lifestyle could work for 300 people. But it may not work for you, and that's okay. Because it may not work for 500 people. You just don't know, and you haven't met them yet. But either you're going to meet them, you've met a few, but you're still kind of that cautious. But this is saying, hey, okay, like over the next month or two, it's going to be quick. There's going to be some sort of force, but it's going to be like universal driven. It's going to be like movement in the right direction or movement into, some sort of relationship. Again, this 10 being your theme is saying you don't want to date that long. You don't want to be on dating sites. You don't want to be in meetup groups. So somewhere maybe you meet them through friend. Maybe you've already met them. Maybe it is a friend. Maybe it's somebody that you remember that you're like, hey, I really liked them and maybe I made a bad choice. So if you're single, it's like, boom, it's going to hit fast. And my mom used to always say to me, and she wasn't right about everything, but she wasn't wrong about everything, right? We learned that about our parents that, we love them, but they did the best they could too. They didn't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. But one thing she said to me all the time was, when the universe or God or whoever you believe in wants something to happen and it's supposed to happen, it moves fast. And everything, my change of careers and, growing with a company I've been with for years and years, it came quick. It was like out of nowhere. A lot of things in my life that were meant to be or that have been positive have moved. It's been forced upon me, but not forced in a negative way. Moving careers wasn't something that I was like, oh, this sucks. It was like, wow, this, let's do it. And I think that's how it's going to be for this person you meet. It's going to kind of just fit like a glove. And the only way to move is forward, and it's going to move pretty fast. If you're looking to reconcile, if you guys do make contact and you communicate, I think it'll be quick as well. I think, but here's the difference between that and anybody who's single. If you're looking to reconcile, you can't force it. So it has to come naturally. Yes, one of you is going to have to pick up the phone and get over it. And I know I'm going to get messages from people saying, you don't understand, they were horrible and they cheated and whatever. Well, if you're looking to reconcile and you're watching this for reconciliation, then you may have to, you know, like suck in your pride and make it happen as well. Because, I mean, that's what happens sometimes. We have to do things we don't want to do to get the outcome we want. So if that's what you really want, you might just have to say, hey, I'm going to have to be the one to make the first move. Or they might surprise the heck out of you. Let's see what else comes. And they may make the first move. But you can't force it either. If you guys get together and it works and you can communicate and things feel comfortable, then good. Go for it. But if they don't, then I would, you know, then it may be time to cut it off. Because that might be your quick action is, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. We've been through this. We're obviously not meant to be together. I can't do this. I love you. We had a great connection, but it's not healthy for me. The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks and throughout the month of November, and you have the 8 of Cups. So somewhere here, I'm thinking for some reason, 8s are going to be a substantial number for you. So either the 8th of November, 8 days, you know, 8 weeks, because usually when you have your future and your, you know, immediate future and your distant future same number, I generally tend to, you know, think there's some sort of significance in that number. All right. So here you have water signs showing up, which is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, because you have cup energy there. But I still like you're on fire because your energy is all over the place here. So you have the 8 of Cups, and the 8 of Cups is about not moving. So these are very opposite, which is funny. This is quick moving, and this is kind of hanging out. It's kind of stagnant. So if you're single, you may have met somebody or you're going to meet somebody this month and you're like, yes, like success. Let's do this. This is awesome. We get along. But you're going to feel like it's not moving fast enough for you. Be patient, be patient, be patient. Don't move it. Don't force it. Don't make it happen. Because it's very funny. This is you, you know, throughout November. So either you've met somebody, you're meeting a few people, or you're going to meet somebody and you're going to be like, yeah, I really like them. But you got to think this moon, they're feeling that too. They're wondering, is he or she, you know, who or what they say they are. So you're going to have to take November in strides and not try and force it. But then once you do this and you have this patience and you know, wait a little bit, then boom, that's going to come into play. It's going to happen. Things are just going to kind of roll with the punches, and the universe is going to, like, you know, move you into it. If you're looking to reconcile, the 8 of Cups is saying it's not moving for you either, because maybe if you make contact or they make contact, you guys are hoping it's going to be like, yes, I love you. Yes, I love you too. But one of you is on the defense still. One of you is still being like prideful. Like, I don't want to say sorry. I did nothing wrong. If you can't get over that, then this is dissatisfaction. And then you'll cut this off. So if you can get over that, and again, I'm not saying, Sag, it's your fault. I'm just saying, you know, it takes 2 to tango, so everybody has some sort of responsibility in the relationship, regardless of what goes on. If they cheated and they were a horrible person, why'd you stay with them? And not that it's just, I get, people will tell me, well, it was their fault, or they did this and I did nothing. But we all know nobody wants to take the blame, and nobody wants to feel like there's any reason that they could be at all responsible for a failure with somebody they love. And I get that. I don't want to. I don't want to think that I've done something to jeopardize anything. But at the end of the day, if I looked back at every relationship I've ever had, I could probably take some sort of responsibility in some of it, although I did nothing wrong. See what I did there? Haha. I can be funny. All right, the next card you have is going to be your future external factors, and you have the Sun. So this is over the next few weeks. It could be the beginning of November, it could be the middle of November, it could be the end of November, it could happen one day out of the month, it could happen 10 days out of the month. The Sun is one of my favorite cards. I say that. And anytime I pull the Sun card, we could stop the reading right here because you want to sit here and bask in the sun. If you're single, this is about hope awareness. This is about self-awareness and hope. The biggest thing with the Sun is that you're seeing far into the future. So you're negating any illusions or any, you're dissipating the clouds or anything that could be coming over what you're looking for, or this person or these people that you've met that you think could be possible gain for you. And you're on fire. And which is, you know, obviously, like I've said 10 times this reading so far, you're a fire sign. So that's positive. But the Sun, again, is lighting your way. So it's lighting your way to this action. So it's letting you see this person clearly, or these people, although I think it's definitely narrowing down to one person. And the Sun is saying, look, there's hope here. So see it for what it is. Don't let this moon make you think something's there that's not. Don't have a paranoid sense of, you know, oh, I've been screwed before, or this is too good to be true. You know, it's like you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, oh, I really like this person. Well, what's wrong? Don't do that, because the Sun is saying somewhere in November, you're going to see clearly. You're going to be like, oh, now I see. Oh, okay, they do. Like, they've been telling me. They're being completely honest with me. There's some real hope here. But you're also being self-aware that some of the worry or some of the, you know, disconcern of like, hey, there, you know, something's going on is inside you because of things you've been through, because of things that you've seen, because of how you've been treated before. Some of the reason you're in disbelief of this person actually being for real and worrying about this is because of past experiences. But something in November, like they may even just look at you and be like, look, I'm being straight up with you. You want to look at my Facebook, you want to look at my phone, you want to come to my apartment, you want to talk to my mom. It's going to be like very clear all of a sudden. If you're looking to reconcile, this is also hope, but this is self-aware. So like I've said, it's you being aware of responsibility you played in the relationship, them being aware of it, and also being able to see in the future. If you think that there is something really still here and there's a connection, which most of you probably wouldn't be watching if you didn't think that, unless you're cross-watching, and then you can pretty much assume that they probably do have feelings for you still. The Sun is saying, look, there's still hope here. There's an inspiration here. But as long as you guys communicate, and as long as you can see it, if you look into the future and you could see yourself with that person and being happy and no arguments and no finger pointing, no blame game, then it could be the real deal. Fights happen. People break up. It doesn't mean it's not possible to get back together. Yes, there are severities. If there was cheating or if there was infidelity or if there was abuse, those boundaries and trust have been broken. And sometimes it's not possible to come back from that. And the next card you have is internal. So over the next few weeks, throughout November, anything, and that's death, by the way, and not a physical death. And this is internal, which I love this position being internal. This could happen in the beginning of November, the middle, the end. You could feel it once throughout the month. You could feel it the whole month. And this is rebirth. This is change. This is transformation. So if you're single, your life is going to change. This completion is going to happen. For a majority of you, I think it's going to be the completion of being single. I think it's going to be moving on. You're going to be like, come on, let's move faster. And then here you're going to be like, whoa, we're moving really fast. It's very interesting how these are right next to each other. But your distant future says, look, you will be moving in that direction. And death is a rebirth. It's a rebirth of your ability to have a healthy relationship. It's a rebirth of your ability to sustain a happy relationship and healthy relationship. But it's also a transformation or a change from within yourself. Sag, this month you're going to be working on changing a lot. And it may have something to do with your upcoming birthday. You may be turning 40 and going, hey, I'm turning 40. And by 40, I thought I'd have a house, or I thought I'd have this, or I thought I'd be doing that. And you might decide like, hey, there are some big changes that need to come. And if you're single, those changes will be egged on by somebody who may be going through exactly what you're going through, or thinking exactly what you're thinking, or wanting the same things you're going through. If you're looking to reconcile, this is either a rebirth of your relationship, if you guys can get over, the hump of what the issue has been, or this is a whole different change and transformation, and you decide, look, I don't want that person. I don't want that relationship. I don't want anything to do with them. With that, though, comes the responsibility of ending it, comes the responsibility of quick action, force, and ending it, and completing that cycle. So really, Sag, I mean, it's like a 50-50 here. If you want to get back together with that person, I think you can do it with work. If you don't want to get back together with that person, then you're going to make some major changes.